The Black Diamond Vapor helmet is on the higher end of helmets, but is it worth getting? In this video, we're going to do a full review so you can make the best decision if you should get this helmet. Before we get too far into it though, I just want to point out that I love this helmet and highly recommend it to anyone who's getting into climbing a little bit more seriously and want a helmet that they can wear to any type of outdoor climbing activity. With that being said, I'm going to go through everything that you need to consider before getting a helmet in regards to the Black Diamond Vapor so you can make the best decision for you. Hi, I'm Sarah from SendEdition.com. If you're looking for new climbing gear or are new to rock climbing, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I do gear reviews like this pretty frequently so that you can make the right decisions for your climbing adventures. The Black Diamond Vapor helmet ranges about $150, which is on the higher end of most climbing helmets. You can get climbing helmets for as cheap as $60, but in the case of most things, especially climbing helmets, you get what you pay for. But what is it exactly that you're paying for? In this video, we're going to go through the comfort of the helmet, the weight, ventilation, if there's any attachments or headlamps attachments, the durability, as well as the adjustability. So first off, let's get into the comfort of this helmet. Now, if you read the description on this helmet, it says you won't even notice it's there. And that sounds really cliche, but I frequently forget that I'm wearing a climbing helmet when I have this on. The way that it fits around your head, it feels like I'm wearing a hat, which I frequently wear a hat when I go hiking, so it's just like I'm hiking, except I'm scaling a cliff. The part of the reason for that comfort is because there is a foam casing around the entire thing. It's got this soft foam right here, which really isn't very thick, so it doesn't have heat issues. Like a lot of foam pads that you find in helmets are super thick, and that causes heat to be built up right there. This is thin enough where that's not an issue. It's also made with a very breathable material, and it's super soft to the touch. It feels very comfortable on my head. Another reason why it's so comfortable is because it does have an adjustable height for the width adjustment of the helmet, and this height lets you adjust it to be perfect for the shape of your head. Everyone's head is slightly different in where this part of the head comes together, and so because of that, these adjustabilities helps with that, and I will get into the adjustment side later on in this review. Another thing that helps with this comfort is the weight, so let's talk about the weight. This is a 6.6 ounce helmet, which is really light compared to most helmets, though that is pretty average for a $150 helmet. That being said, I still highly recommend this helmet over another $150 helmet because of the way that it's so light. It's not only light because of the material it's used, it also has a smaller profile, so when you're wearing it, it's not very visible. Like, you can see it if you look straight up, but it's not something that's going to get in your way. It also, if you're going through a difficult part of the climb and you need to move your head, or you're going in and there's like this roof area, the helmet is not going to make you take up more space, which I find very helpful. The ventilation is the next part of the helmet that I really like. As you can see, it's full of vents. These vents are very breathable, but they still have the structure you need for the safety aspect of the helmet. And because of these vents, it is really comfortable to wear. I've mentioned earlier in the video that it feels like wearing a hat. These vents make it so that it's more breathable, so I do feel a slight, when there's wind, I do feel the wind on the back of my head, which I find very comfortable and comforting, especially when it's super hot outside. I usually climb in the summer, and there's snow in the winter, which isn't ideal to climb, so the type of rock climbing I do. With that being the case, this is the perfect helmet for that situation. The next one is attachments and accessories. There is a headlamp clips right here, which are removable if you want. I don't remove mine because even though I don't use the headlamp, I don't climb at night very often. Okay, I've never climbed at night. I'm keeping them on because I don't want to lose the clips, And I'm someone who, if I take it off, I might lose the clip, but they are removable if you want to. Otherwise, you can use them to hold on to a headlamp just like normal. Most headlamps will fit this helmet system. The next part is durability, and I think that's kind of a silly way of measuring your helmet when you're looking for a helmet, because if you have a big rock fall and this helmet cracks, you need a new helmet because the structure of the helmet will be compromised and no longer provide you the safety that you need. That being said, that's how every helmet is. If you crack the helmet, you need a new helmet, and you may also have a concussion, so consider visiting the hospital. With that being said, it has a softer feel on it compared to like an an ABS type plastic. So there will be scratches on it and stuff like that if you drop it or something, but it's not something that you need to be concerned about. And honestly, I think I see 2 scratches on this helmet, and this thing has gone through the ringer, so it is relatively durable, but it is still soft where you can get those scratches that you may not like the sight of them. It's not very visible, but it is possibly visible if you get it in the perfect light. The last thing that I wanted to talk about with this helmet is the adjustability. A lot of people use the adjustability of a helmet to indicate if it's worth getting. The problem with that is when you adjust a helmet, you adjust it and then you're done. You don't change the size of your helmet later. So it shouldn't really be a deciding factor. With that being said, this is actually really easy to adjust. The width part of the helmet is right here. You just pull it out as wide as you want, and then when you put it on your head, you can just scrunch it together. There, that is fully adjusted to my head. And then the second part of the adjustment is the height, which you can do so by changing the amount of material that's behind this. Now, I have this one set perfectly for my head so that it goes right under the crater right here. That way the helmet stays in place no matter what direction I'm looking. So as you can see, I'm going to put the helmet on. Even without it buckled, it doesn't move when I move my head forward and back or sideways or around. Like, it doesn't matter how I move my head, it's going to stay on my head, which makes it really easy because when I buckle here, I don't have to worry about this choking my throat when I lean backwards, which is also a common occurrence for helmets that don't have the adjustability for height. So if you want to use adjustability as a means of reviewing climbing helmets, just make sure that you can adjust how high this piece of the climbing helmet adjustment is, and as long as you can do that, it's probably going to be a good helmet. There are helmets out there where you just twist it and it's a little bit easier to adjust, but again, this is something that you adjust once and then you're done. So if it takes an extra second, which literally you just saw me adjust this to my head, it just took a couple of seconds. So a couple of seconds is not going to be a downside of this at all, and it is relatively easy. It's not the twisting kind that can be easier, but it is relatively significantly easy to adjust. So just keep that in mind when you're getting your helmet. You can get it in a ton of different colors. It's super light. It feels like I'm wearing a hat when I'm climbing, but it gives me the safety of a helmet just in case a rock falls on my head. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to like and subscribe. Those likes and subscribes tell me that I'm making content that you enjoy so that I can make more content catered just for you. Thanks again for watching, and enjoy climbing out there.